I'm Paula Jones, and I'm one of the organizers for NCT4G, and I am here with my good friend Ruby Sinreich, and I am excited to have her here to talk a little bit about what an unconference is.
Thanks, Paula. I'm excited to be here. I really love NCT4G, and I've really enjoyed being a part of it and making it into an unconference every year.
Oh, great. Thank you for being here. So tell me a little bit about your tech background.
Well, I've been working in nonprofit technology for over 20 years, my whole professional life. I started out working for a state advocacy, or actually for a women's center, and then a state advocacy organization. I learned to make websites, and then I ended up working for national advocacy organizations. And I've worked for everything from the smallest nonprofit with 2 staff members to international groups. So I really relate to all the wide range of organizations that come to the conference, because I've had all the different problems that they have.
Well, and so a part of that experience, you probably have been to several unconferences yourself, right?
Yes, and because I'm a geek, I like to go to bar camps, which is sort of a techie version of unconferences, and there are great learning opportunities. And there's also a great one called Penguin Day that nonprofits can go to if you're going to the NTC, where you can learn about open source software.
Oh, yeah, awesome. All right, well, so tell us a little bit about unconference and what that means for us.
Sure. I am a nut for unconferences. It's true. I like to spread the gospel. Unconferences are based on something called open space technology that was developed in the 1980s. So it's not actually initially a geeky thing. And it was developed as a way to have organic meetings that are created by the people who are participating in them. So it's very interesting because in some ways it's very structured, and in other ways, of course, it's completely open-ended and completely unstructured. So what it is actually like a scaffolding or a framework that allows people to have the event that they want to have.
Oh, so they actually get to have some feedback into what's happening for the day?
That's right. The people who are there make the event.
Oh, that's a different take, right?
Yeah, it's pretty different. In some ways, it's very different from a regular conference. Where there's a group of organizers and they've selected the agenda and they've decided what experience you're going to have, and you go and you fit into it, and maybe you find those sessions interesting, and maybe you don't, and maybe you end up just sitting in the hallway talking to somebody, and then you run into someone who's got the same problem you have with their Drupal site, and you end up having a great conversation. And what this does is put that hallway conversation actually back into the conference.
So is that a little scary for people that maybe aren't used to that format?
Yeah, it can be very unusual, and that's why it has this weird name, unconference. That also can be off-putting sometimes. If you've spent your whole life going to conferences and you know what that's about, why would you go to something that's not that? You don't know what that is. And also, because of the way that the unconference makes the schedule on the spot, some people have concerns about not knowing what's going to happen. So why should I go to this event? I don't know who's going to be speaking or what they're talking about.
Or even maybe funding for that in some ways,
yes,
right?
That's true. That can be challenging. But, as often, we always say when we talk about the conferences that we go to, I was just at lunchtime talking to someone who goes to the NTC, and the best thing at the NTC is the people there,
that's right?
The workshops are nice, but we go there because of the people. And that's even more true with an unconference, because you're going there on the security of the community.
Right.
You know there's this community of people who have same challenges as you, they have good ideas that you can learn from, and that you have ideas to share with them.
Oh, yeah.
So when you go to an unconference, you're really going to be a part of that community and to share knowledge.
So what's a way to make them feel comfortable then? So like if people come to NCT4G next year, what's a way that we can make them feel at ease maybe with this different format?
I think one of the best things that we can do is show them what it's like. So that's one of the things that I think we're doing this year a little bit. And also maybe some testimonials, because I have to say I've never led an unconference where someone didn't come up to me at the end of the day and go, I did not understand what this was, or I thought you were crazy, and I had the best day. And thank you so much. And a lot of times people will say, I'm going to take this home to my organization and try to do it. So people are usually converted once they try it, but it is very hard for people to understand who haven't done it. So we need to get some more of those testimonials of people who've been through it and come out the other side and said, actually, that does make sense.
Oh, that's awesome. I think we can do that. We've got some equipment this year that's going to make that rather easy.
Yay, good.
Awesome.
Should I talk about how we actually make the crazy schedule?
Yeah, let's do that. Maybe just do it in a couple points. Maybe keep it short.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So this is the structure that makes the unstructured thing work. Everybody who comes is invited to pitch a session, and the session could be anything from a formal talk with a presentation. It can be a walkthrough, a show and tell, like here's how I made this thing. It can be a discussion, like let's talk about this challenge in nonprofits right now, or a round table or something like that. And everybody who wants to pitch a session comes up to the front of the room and tells everybody in about just 30 seconds what they'd like to do. And they write the idea for their session on a card. And then their card goes up on a big schedule that we have on the wall that we call the grid, because the grid has the rooms across one axis and the time slots across the other axis. And they put their pitch card up onto the grid, and we listen to everybody's pitches. And then we get a sense of which sessions are going to be very popular and make sure they get into big enough rooms and which ones need screens and which ones don't and stuff like that. And we massage the grid. That's my term.
Try to accommodate everybody and the different ideas that they have for the sessions that they're wanting to do.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll find there's two sessions that don't have a ton of interest, but they are similar, and we can combine them into one. Or also, we make room on the schedule for new sessions that might come up during the morning when people get ideas, and they think, oh, we should continue this conversation or go off in this tangent, and we leave room on the schedule for those as well. So we all literally make the schedule by adjusting the grid, and then that becomes the conference, that overrides the conference program and becomes the schedule for the day.
So you're kind of putting the power back in the hands of the participants.
That's right. And then there's a very important rule that everybody has to follow all day long.
Oh, what is that?
It's called the law of 2 feet.
Oh, okay.
And that says that if you are not getting something out of the session that you're in or contributing to it, it is your responsibility to use your 2 feet to go someplace else.
Okay.
And the alternative to doing that is to contribute to the session.
Oh, well, that's important too.
That's right. So instead of grumbling in the back row like I would usually do, like I do at regular conferences, instead you could raise your hand and say, I think this conversation would benefit from adding in this angle, or can we hear from this person? Or you can just politely, you don't have to disrupt the session. You can get up and find something that will meet your needs better. And that puts the onus on all the participants to get something out of the whole conference. And again, that's why you have to pitch the sessions. You should, pitch the sessions that you want to have. You want to learn about, video production. Pitch a session on it, and other people will come and teach you.
Well, it also makes everybody in the room an expert in some ways, because they can all contribute to something maybe that they're knowledgeable about.
That's right. And even if you're not an expert, you can hold the space and facilitate a good conversation about something that people will learn from.
Wow, that's really exciting. I know that I think that our folks are going to have a great time doing this.
Yep, everybody should come.